All right, guys, today we are here. Today what we're gonna do is some deer over there. I'm sitting on a really sketchy branch, but what we're gonna do in this project is we're gonna make a bushcraft chair. And I have a new tool for our project for that bushcraft chair, which is gonna come in handy. So yeah, we'll get straight away on that. And I'm also testing out a new microphone system too, so when I walk away from the camera, it'll still record my voice good. So if you guys can hear me right on, cool, give me a big thumbs up in the link in the descriptions or whatever. Cool. So we're gonna get started on that. Okay, so have our trusty little saw. We're just gonna walk over here and we're gonna cut. This is probably like way too big for what we need. So we're just gonna cut this baby up here. It was a wasp's nest at one time, so we're just gonna and like I stated before in my other video, the saw it's compact, but it's razor sharp. And this is just a Parkside saw from Princess Auto. I mean, it cuts like a knife through warm butter, as much as I love using that expression. So we're gonna use that. We're gonna get our, I see another great piece of wood I want to grab from over there for chair. Try not to kill myself walking over here to get it, or poke an eye out. Would be beneficial. So we got this one that we're going to use. So we have, yeah, I think these two will be good for the get it measured up here. Perfect. But yeah, this little saw it's amazingly sharp and it works for everything I need it for. Peel away some of that bark. And it cuts amazingly fast too, this saw. There, so there's our first two pieces for a chair that we're going to use. Right there. Not breathing as heavy as I would be because I've been back at the gym for about a month. So we got those two pieces. That's going to be for our foundation for the so that's going to be the foundation for the bushcraft chair. The back of the A part, and then for the seat part, I found two other perfectly good pieces of wood that we're going to use for that. So I'll grab those. And when we come back, I'll have it set up and we'll start doing out our, I got a new auger set for Christmas, an auger drill. So we're going to use that in our bushcrafting and we're going to try to build this chair. Other than the seat part, which we're going to use, I have cordage for the seat. But other than that, for the frame and for the base, we're going to try to use just strictly wood and our auger bit to drill the holes, and then cut the pieces of wood to fit into the holes for our bushcraft chair. So that's on our agenda for this video. All right, so behind the mic, or sorry, behind the camera again. You know what we do? So we have all the pieces ready to go for our chair. I also cut a piece from a new auger that I'm going to show you guys here in just a sec that I got. It was a gift for Christmas because I needed an auger bit because I've been wanting to do this project for actually quite some time. So here's the auger bit I got for Christmas. And inside, so that's the sheath for it. And inside we have another sheath for the bit part. So there's the sheath for the bit part. And then we got our handle that we're going to use here, but this is going to have to be cut down. So I'm going to get that cut down, get it through, and we'll start building the frame for our bushcraft chair. Okay, so these are going to be the two pieces that we're going to use. These two pieces for the base because they need to be a little bit heavier. Because these two pieces here need to be a little bit heavier, so we'll go ahead and we'll get these started. We'll use these for the base. Have our handle into our awl. So it's the first time ever using one of these. So just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, we're gonna get this piece over here. And then I'm thinking right about through here would be ideal to start. And yeah, I know there's like a bunch of different things you can set up, so I'm going to start learning how to do some of that stuff too. But once you get it started, the hole to go through it shouldn't be too bad. Of course, you got to take it out and tap it out every now and again to get the shavings out so you can keep going with your hole. It should go a little bit deeper than that. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't have my cameraman here, so I'm hoping I get this. I'm getting this on video. So yeah, it's not going to shave that anymore through, so I don't know what's up. Like, it's not biting through the wood to make a hole through there for me. So I'm not too sure exactly why it's not biting through any more of the wood. It should just keep going all the way through, but it's not like it's definitely not dull, that's for sure. This is like, man, you can shave with that. It's razor sharp. But like I said, it's my first time using one of these awls here. So maybe just got to put more weight on it. Yeah, so that seems to be kind of biting its way through. I'll bring you guys back when I'm through both pieces. If this turns out to be an epic fail, because Like I said, I've never used one of these before, so this is kind of like a very first test for it. But if it turns out to be an epic fail, we'll build the chair with, I have a Bankline in there, and I have some parachute cable or cord, paracord 550 in there also to use just in case all else fails. Always be prepared, right? So we'll use that. When I come back, hopefully I'll have the holes through and we can just start getting built on that. If not, we'll go route number 2. All right, so we're back. What we're gonna do with this here is we're going to put the ixnay on the thing and just say forget it, because I gotta learn how to use a little bit better. I thought, oh yeah, it's an auger, you know, bring it out, put a stick in it, get it through. Severely underprepared for that aspect of the show. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to build a basic straight up bushcraft chair, something that we can sit on, super easy to build when you're out like in the woods or whatever. Incredibly easy to build. It takes just a couple of pieces of wood, 4 pieces really, and then a support for the back. We'll get that all tied together and tied in, and then we'll do we'll start building a seat for it. And there is tons of dead wood and stuff around here for the seat aspect of it. But I'm not gonna try to make it too wide. I'm just gonna try to make it a basic, simple chair for today's project. What we'll do is we'll probably go about. So we'll flip this around. So this will be the front part for our chair, and this will be the other front part. For our chair. So we'll make it about that wide. We're not going to want it too much wider than that. Then what we'll do is we'll get that back part lashed together. Excuse me. And then we'll get on building the this part of it here. So there's going to be an A-frame that rests back on it, but you guys will see once we get to that part. But I'm going to get out my cordage and start getting that together for the chair that we're going to build. Yeah, I know. I was going to pause it, but in the same aspect, it's fine. Okay, I have everything right here that we need. Let's go. So make sure they have. Nothing worse than when your kit spills over and you're in the woods and you just gotta double check your situation, because you want to make sure that you have everything that you came out here with. It's not like it'll disappear, but you never know. Okay, so and I've been coming out here for 4 years bushcrafting, and I've used airplane flying over, of course. Hello. I've used this kind of Bankline. This kind of Bankline is the exact same stuff some other people use that's tarred. You can get it on Amazon or wherever. This stuff is nylon polytwine. I've been using this probably for 4 years. It comes from the dollar store. On a tree just on the other side of here, on another bushcrafting site that I have on the other side, I've had a piece of this stuff tied to the tree for about 3 years now, and it has not weakened at all. It has not loosened at all from the tree. And I had that set up for my tarp for my hammock, because I used to bushcraft and bush camp out here, like stealth camp or whatever, wild camp. But so yeah, I just use this Bankline from the dollar store. Super simple, super cheap. It's $1.25 for like 300 feet or 500 feet of this stuff, and it goes a long way. So that's one of the cool parts about it, is that it goes a long way. And you can use it for a lot of stuff. You can use it for everything bushcrafting that you need to tie. Just gonna come around here. Make my loop. Get that first knot in there. And thank you for the people that do follow me on YouTube. I don't have a huge following. Like I said, I never started this out to be a professional YouTuber. I do it just for the fun of it. But I appreciate the subscribers that I have. Thank you. And it's like, what, December 27th today. So I haven't gotten out a lot because I was sick with the flu for about a month. And then with Christmas coming, I was prepping for that, having family down and stuff like that. So I'm able to get back out finally and get to getting some bushcrafting in. This project is going to be fun to build. I love building bushcraft chairs because they come in handy for all kinds of things. Except today, my knot skills are not happening. All right. Yeah, my knot skills they don't want to be the eye of the tiger today. Today it's more like being the eye of the tadger. So there's that. And yeah, like when I'm done my projects, I do take all this rope, this cord or the paracord that I use. I usually do cut it and I usually take it home or toss it in the trash or something. Although a lot of the times when I'm using longer pieces like this, I do reuse them because I mean, it comes in handy for a lot of stuff. So I do reuse a lot of the pieces that I use. And today we're using the trusty Moore knife because I'm in the city, in a pretty private spot in the city, and using the big old bushcrafting knife, just not a good idea. Plus, I know there's lots of deer around here today. I've seen like probably 10 or 12 deer out here today. I haven't seen any people yet. I don't usually run into too many people out here when I'm bushcrafting, but I have seen a few, like when it's way nicer weather, there are a lot of people out here walking their dogs and stuff, and they'll come up and say hi, which is pretty cool. They're all pretty good people out here in the city anyway. But a lot of the bushcraft videos I do here and in another spot, and then I have an out of town spot that I like to do them at. So that's going to be our base. Super simple. Anybody can build one of these chairs. It doesn't take 15 years of bushcrafting experience to build a bushcraft chair, especially one this simple. All right, so we're gonna use that for that. And then, all right, yeah, I know I need a kneeling pad. I'm going to make one or buy one, whatever. Let's see whatever happens here. So we're just gonna hold on to that because we're gonna use that again. So that's gonna be our base, and then we're gonna have our chair on the up angle for our chair, and then we'll have our back stem, and I can see the perfect piece of wood that we're gonna use for that back part. All right, so we have our pieces for our upside that we're gonna use. Except this time I'm just gonna cut a length off of it. And like I said, anything over that length, I usually just cut off and bring home or whatever, right? So I'm hoping that this microphone is working good because I don't really want to have to talk too loud, especially out here, because there's lots of deer around and I don't want to scare them off too much. So here we have, this is what we're going to use for our frame. So our top frame. But like I said, we're not going to make it too super huge, because the bigger you make, the wider you make this, the wider you're going to have to make your seat. And then you have to start looking for bigger pieces every time you go looking. And it's fun. The aspect of the hunt of looking for cool pieces of wood to use for projects is neat, but I like to have stuff readily available. See, I'm not one of those guys, like in a prepping sense, who has everything prepped before he comes out. I kind of like to come out and, take my time making videos. I've also learned over the holidays and from the time I haven't been bushcrafting how to edit. So I'm going to have that pretty well good to go for this video. So I'll have edited it properly, and I'll have a good video out for you guys. So really looking forward to it. But yeah, like I said, this cord here that I use for cordage is dollar store stuff, but you know, people are like, oh, it's cheap stuff. It's really not. This nylon cord, I mean, there's a multitude of uses for this stuff. You could even use this stuff for making gill net and it would work. I still have yet. That's one thing I'd really like to learn how to do, is to do a gill net. And yeah, these kind of projects, I use just very basic knots. Simple overhand or granny knots or whatever you want to call them. Because for me, that's what it's about. I'm not really into anything bigger than that. So that's going to be our back frame. This one here is going to be the one that makes our seat. So we're going to have our seat coming out like this on each side. We're going to lean that back a bit. So we have that. Or we could put it inside too, either way. On this application, or this job, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them inside, and I think they'll hold up just fine, because that's a pretty big seat base right here. So what we can do is also shorten the stance on that too. Have these just coming down about there, which works. That works a lot better. And then we'll build our seat up here. So we'll get cutting the stuff for that and getting that one ready to go. Getting this one all tied off. Which I think that'll be good enough for cordage for that one. Let's cut through. Plus, I gotta watch too, because right where my bushcrafting spot is here, it is like right next to a pretty busy road. So I don't think too many people can see through the trees unless they're really trying to look over here. And I know some people do, because I'm sure that fire that was over here was an encampment of some kind, because I'd hiked through here earlier in the year in the spring, just before the summer, and I seen people out here, they were having a fire and they had like a whole little campground set up out here. I don't think it was a homeless shelter. I think it was just somebody's project or whatever that they had going on, but it burned. Like, I walked all through there, and you could see that there was a huge fire out there. You know, I hope the people that were involved in that, they weren't there, and I hope they just had left a candle burning or something and were out for a hike. I hope nobody got hurt. There was nothing mentioned on the news about it, and I haven't read anything about it, so I'm assuming that there was probably nobody in there, but which is good, because the last thing you want to hear or see is anybody getting hurt like that, especially when you're out just trying to enjoy the outdoors, and you know, you get killed or something like that. That's never cool, no matter who you are. Like I said before in some of my other videos, I spent some time homeless at one point when I was about 19 years old. And so I know what it's like to be homeless and to not have a place to live. And I think if that was the case for them, you know, they had a pretty nice setup. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, for homeless camp, or like a cozy cabin, I called it, because it was all surrounded with wood, but it's all this kind of wood that I'm working with here, which is really dry, dead stuff. And this stuff will burn really quick and really hot, because it's hardwood, most of this wood out here, because it's like berry trees and things like that. Like I said before in my other videos, I'm not an arborist. I don't know exactly what kind of trees they are, but I know for sure they're fruit trees, and they're old, they're dead, and they're dry. And hardwood, which a lot of fruit trees are, will burn incredibly hot. And these are kind of like, so the ties that I'm putting on here, I guess in construction, we used to use wire though for doing this kind of thing. These are called saddle ties. So I know for sure these aren't going to move down when I put the seat on. They're not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to tie this other one up, and then we're going to get the seat built for it. So I got the sun, it's about 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30. So I got about another hour and a half of good daylight left to finish up this project. So we'll get this project buttoned up, and then we'll start making the seat. So I'm gonna just turn this down here, try to get the camera down a bit. Right there. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge one into editing. I don't really like editing my videos. I like everything natural and raw. But that's why there is a pause button on cameras, right? But like I said, I've been working on my editing, so I think the editing for this video will be good. Good, wholesome editing. Wholesome. Yeah, that whole thing is dead. Probably not cool to be under it, but you know what? The chances we take bushcrafting. It was all in the name of bushcrafting. All right, oops. Sorry to get this sorted here. Hold that up with my leg. Get this one tied up. Get some of that loose stuff out of there. And see, I always leave a tail sticking out like this because that's what I used to finish off my knots with. It's this tail here. I could have used a way better knot for this, but I know I'm not in a hurry. It's just I'm going to take it down after the video. So this is just basically to show that anybody can do a bushcraft chair. Anybody, no matter your age or your skill. When I was in Scouts, I was 12 years old. We were taught how to build chairs like this in Scouts years ago, and they're fun to build. We used to build all kinds of stuff, shelters. The shelter I specifically had was in a tree, so it was between two trees, and it had like two boards, one or two pieces of wood, branches on each side of the tree, and then I built a whole bunch of logs on it, and I laid down my sleeping pad, and then I tied, well, we used to use jute twine or whatever it is, that stuff that I showed you guys that I had waxed in one video, but the way thinner stuff. And then I'd put a top piece up so I could put a tarp across it, which was just, back in those days, we just had those old space blankets, the silver ones, to keep the rain and weather and stuff off of us. Come around that one more time, drop another knot on it. Plus, I'm sure with this microphone, this new one here that I'm using, this is the lapel mic, you'll probably pick up a lot of breathing. Because like I said, I just got back to the gym last week, or sorry, well, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been going to the gym, not every day. I take usually a day off a week to rest my old bones, because yeah, you know, I'm in my 40s now. So all right, when I come back, I'm gonna brace it from here back, so it's leaning back like that, but I'm going to brace it because I've seen people build these chairs before where they don't put a brace back here, but because it's me, I'm gonna put a brace here to hold it. Sorry, so we'll do that. All right, so we have the piece I need. As far as the deer just don't come walk right up. Okay, so the one deer did. Little doe, come right up. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lean that back a bit and fit that right into there like this. And then we're gonna tie this in. This we don't have to worry about tying in because it's right pushed all the way to the back. It's just to give this part support so that it doesn't fall backwards while our seat is being built here across this way. So we'll get out some more dollar store twine, which I love working with because it's just phenomenal stuff. And it's slick, it's smooth, so glides through your hands nice, like a trout on a hot summer day. This time we'll try a little bit of a different knot for you guys, because some of you guys are doing, try this knot, try that knot. I do know my knots. I just, sometimes I refuse to use them because, there, that made that nice and tight. And then we'll just come around a few times with this. And we'll get it in there good and tight so it don't come out. There we go. Bring that around. Cinch it off. Excuse me. So yeah, I just had lunch before I came out here too, so if my gut's making noises, I apologize for that. I don't know if that'll pick it up or not on the camera, but or on the audio. There. I think that's not going to go anywhere. So we're good to get building the seat now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pieces that are going to go across this way. So I need probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 or 8 pieces to go across this way. This part here, so making the seat to come across here is like frankly, it's the most time consuming part. So yeah, we'll get that done as soon as we come back here. All right, so our chair that we have here, we have all of our pieces for our seat that we're gonna do. And then what I'm gonna do on the back here, I'm just going to use paracord. It's the design I like to use because paracord is a lot more comfortable to lean up. So you can kind of lean back and have like paracord, chilling in your paracord bushcraft chair. And then I'm gonna get all these cut to length, on this side. I'm gonna get them trimmed up. And then I'm gonna get them all tied in place. Or figure something out for that. Yeah, get these all tied down. You don't even have to tie these down. So I cut these just to show you guys. So I cut these. What these will do is they'll hold the bushcraft seat. You just tie this up, and then you don't have to worry about tying each and every one of these individual pieces down. Then because they're pushed right up against the back here of this, the chair. So you don't even have to worry about tying all of these down like that. And you can move these back even further like that. So then you can tie those down into place. So we'll get doing that. We'll tie these ones down. You'll have to excuse me. There's a train going through too, and I'm going to have to turn my back to you guys for a minute or two just to get this these tied down because I don't want to have to do it from the other side. Or what I'll do is I'll just get them tied down and bring you guys back when that's done. Okay, good to go. So what we'll do is we'll get these pieces here. We got 2 lengths of cordage, one for that side, one for this side here. We'll just make sure that's in there nice and tight. We'll put it up against the very first seat log that we're gonna use for a seat here. And we'll make sure that that's down in there good. And we'll make our first knot in there. So yeah, trying to make sure that you guys can see that. I'm gonna put our first knot in that. There are some very good knots that I use, and then there are some, just like I said, super simple overhand knots and things like that also that I use for bushcrafting. It depends on the project. Like this thing here is so easy and simply made that for me to like go incredibly fancy with it, I ain't gonna do it. So yeah, I guess, you know, this will be good enough for what I need it for. There's just one piece of wood isn't gonna sit still. That's okay. It's fine. Yeah, and then we're just gonna bring our knot up here. I'm gonna put our knot right up here like that. Yeah, so I got the sun setting behind me already. For some reason, it seems to be setting at an ultra fast pace today. I don't know if it's just me or if it's setting at an ultra fast pace. Sometimes I don't pay attention to that kind of thing. I knew what time it was when I came out here, so I'm like, hey, I got enough time to get this project done. If I have to do it in 2 parts, even better, because I don't live that far away. And I can always come back tomorrow and enjoy the great outdoors again. So it's good for me either way. But like I said, so sorry I have my back turned to you guys here. I know you guys saw me tie the first one. I'll try to get back over here a bit. I gotta get one of those kneely things because now my knee's all wet, but these are double padded and they're insulated. So they're not soaked, just the outside is wet, which is fine. So I'm just gonna loop this through. Bring it back. Bring this one back. Loop it up and around, come around again. Just loop it up and put my knot in it. I think it's getting that time to rush hour too, so. Just bring this one up and around. We'll make like that saddle tie I was telling you guys about. I learned that one in construction years ago when I used to do commercial concrete. So we used to do a lot of saddle ties and loop ties with the steel ties for the rebar and stuff like that. And in commercial construction, it's a very strict business when it comes down to tying rebar. So, all right, here we go. We're going to give it the first test. Will it hold? I don't know. I dropped 5 pounds. So I'm down to 129. Let's see here. Yeah. It holds, which is cool. So we're going to get the back part started, which will be out of paracord, and the part where I can lean back here. I don't even have to put a piece on it. I can lean back right on it like that, and I'm perfectly comfortable. But a lot of people like to have, like, I didn't build this chair super huge. I built it just for a video and for you guys to see, to show that anybody can sit here and build a bushcraft chair. I've seen guys build some really incredibly fancy ones. A few years back, I was out bushcrafting with some friends of mine when I lived in Ontario, so about over 20 years ago, so not a few years back. And the guy had arms on it. He had a place to rest his cold drink. You know, he actually made like a cold drink holder, tied it with all these knots, kind of like a thing to put his drinks in and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not too worried about that. But this is really good. Like, you can like really wiggle in it. That's not going to move too far. Until everything settles on the chair, it's going to move a little bit. So you're going to feel stuff sliding and this and that. But I mean, it gets you up off the ground to sit. I'm not sitting in the snow. And it's comfortable. I'm perfectly comfortable sitting here. Not saying I could sit here for hours on end, but you know, you always have like a camping mat or whatever when you go, and you can just put your camping mat down and sit on that. And I'm pretty sure that would be fine for a lot of people. But Yeah, it's almost tempting since I'm out here today to get a fire going. Medical airplane. It's one of the ones that the cities in Alberta use to transport patients from hospital to hospital. I could see the markings on the side of it. It was that low. They fly in pretty low here. The airport's just on the other side of downtown, which is like literally just over there. So, yeah, that's why I like bushcrafting in the other spot better. But I found that I had a little more room here to. It's a little more open than my other spot where I did the fire pucks and stuff like that too, right? So, but all right, guys. This is, I guess I'm going to title this video the incredibly simple bushcraft chair that anybody can do with just a simple $4.99 saw that I bought from Princess Auto, Bankline, or whatever kind of line you want to call it. I call it string, that I got from the dollar store. That's polyester and probably some kind of plastic in it. I don't know, but it feels really smooth like silk. I've been using that stuff for about 4 years and I've never had a problem with it rotting. Although I've never used it in any kind of like water applications like a gill net. But when I do build a gill net, that's the stuff I'm going to use to do a gill net with. Just to try it and see if it works. Let's hope the new mic worked out today. My lapel mic, all fancy. But until next time, I am going to do another video coming up here in about a week or so. I'll try to get it out. I'm going to take you guys home and edit this video. Get that out to you. Probably the 28th or the 29th. And the next video will be out in the new year. So I hope everybody had a good Christmas this year. You know, even if you were alone, I was alone a few Christmases when I was like out working or, you know, stuff like that. I always had my work buddies, but there's nothing like being with family, and sometimes you can't be with family. So you got to make the best of it. You know, it's just how it goes. So I hope everybody did what they could to have a good Christmas this year. And Happy New Year's to everybody. Health, luck, and goodwill towards each other in this upcoming next year, because I think the world needs it. Love one another. Be good to one another. And see you in 2025. So I will bid you adieu and say ciao for now.